This is the Jack Murphy Podcast. Here's your host, Jack Murphy.
So I'm going to show you this picture, Alpha. Tell me, if your children were getting ready to go off to college in California, let's remember that, would you want this guy to be teaching your children? That's the question. Would you like for this guy to be a teacher for your children? Some people, I say that, I've said it before, that when you sit down in an interview and you see somebody, you got to let your gut kick in. You got to say, I just don't think he's University of California Channel Islands material.
In every animal species, there is a flight or fight.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see another animal, you immediately decide whether or not you can trust this animal to hurt you or you can trust this animal to be your friend. And so it's the same way with people.
Yep.
We should trust our gut sometimes when we look at somebody and go, yeah, I don't think so.
So the story on this guy, he's a professor. First of all, you're pretty far down the professor chain when you're the professor at Cal State Channel Islands.
Channel Islands.
So he's offshore? He's off the mainland?
Apparently, he's on a barge.
I didn't know they had a college on the Channel Islands, but I guess they do.
Neither.
He's charged with throwing a tear gas canister at federal agents who were executing a search warrant at a marijuana farm in Camarillo over the summer. Now, take a look at this guy and see what you think, because he just doesn't fit the mold for me.
Yeah, red flags would immediately go up for me. Just saying. Yeah. It's the eyes.
It's really everything. It's the hair, the eyes, the big glasses, the
crazy grin.
He just looks crazy. He looks like a guy that would throw a tear gas canister at federal agents at a marijuana farm raid.
And there's no telling what he'll tell you kids.
Oh, God, don't get me started on that. Jonathan Cavello, 37, of Ventura, is charged with one count of assault on a federal officer using deadly or dangerous weapon. I'm sure he'll get out on bail and they'll drop the charges.
Oh, but he has been arrested at least.
Sorry,
right?
Free on $15,000 bond. He'll be arraigned sometime in the coming weeks. So just let him back out. He'll probably back in the classroom until his court hearing. Good grief. I don't get it. But I don't think I want that guy teaching my kids.
Well, you're right about judges like that, because there's something big going on in your city there in Charlotte.
That's my next story.
The Carlos Brown, who...
we started covering a story right after it happened 2 weeks ago here on the podcast, and the crazy thing was I couldn't believe that the national media didn't pick up on this story more. And I think part of it may have been because it was a white girl and a black guy, and they're claiming that he is mentally ill, which he obviously is, to do what he did. And I've got some video for you that I want to play.
Well, what is your mayor's name?
Von Lyles, and she is such a disappointment the way she's handled this.
She's actually thanking media for not showing the video of this guy blatantly just standing up and murdering this young woman who is an immigrant from Ukraine.
Yeah, I got really pissed off when I saw that, because first of all, she called the media our media partners. Now, if you're in the media, you should not be a partner of the mayor. It's not
of any politician.
It's not your job to be a partner to them or anybody, any other elected official. It's your job to look at what they're doing and reporting back to the public, not covering for them, which they've done in the past. They did it with the police chief story. I told you that one about the police chief. There was one Republican on the board, and he was going after the police chief because he wouldn't spend the federal grant money on new bulletproof vests for the officers that they wanted. And this guy was just giving him grief. And finally, the police chief, who eventually resigned, filed this massive lawsuit against the city, and in closed meetings, they gave him like $500,000. And the media didn't touch it until one radio reporter at WBT followed up on it and got the details on it. And then they came out and, it was a meeting of all the commissioners and the mayor saying, well, we really didn't have a choice. It was terrible what he said about him. And blah, blah, blah. It's horrible.
Well, on a positive side, Representative Andy Fine of Florida announced Sunday he's going to introduce legislation to hold soft-on-crime judges accountable if they release a violent criminal and then that person commits more crimes. So then the judges can be liable for what people like that do.
There's our mayor right there. There's Vaughn Lyles. And it's like you said, she thanked the media for not showing it out of respect for the family. And it's a senseless and tragic loss. Prayers to her loved ones. And it's happened so quickly. She said that she criticized anybody that would share the video of a black man stabbing a white woman. She's thinking about the safety and the security of Charlotte. But she doesn't offer any cures. By the way, this is not the first attack on Charlotte light rails or on our buses. It happens all the time. We've had shootings, we've had drivers stabbed and drug off the bus. It's horrible, the stuff that goes on. She doesn't offer any.
And this guy
answer.
has been arrested and released 14 times.
That's what I said last week. He's a career violent offender who's mentally ill. He should have never been on the street. It's just horrible. What's going on? Look at that girl, that innocent face. 23 years old, just escaped the war in Ukraine, legally immigrated to the United States, and that animal killed her.
And it's my contention that it shouldn't matter the color of the perpetrator and the victim. This is a heinous crime that should be punished on its face for exactly what it is.
Yeah, and if you go...
And no one should protect this guy.
If you go on YouTube or, you can search the internet and find the actual video. And it's diabolical. I watched the whole thing because we've been covering. I was interested. So she's sitting there on her phone. It's late in the evening or early evening. I think it's
early morning. Yeah.
Early morning, I'm sorry. And she's got her phone and she's on the phone looking at some stuff and he's in the seat behind her. They have zero interaction. She doesn't talk to him. There's not any kind of a quarrel or anything. She's just minding her business, looking at her phone like young people are.
And he's laying with his head up against the window behind her.
Right. And he just raises up, reaches in his pocket, pulls out a folding knife, unfolds it, stands up and stabs her 3 or 4 times in the neck. Then he exits the light rail and changes clothes. All this is on camera. It's a pretty open and shut case. So.
And then there were stories, of course, that came out immediately that someone had launched a GoFundMe page
for him,
for this guy's defense. Well, on a brighter note, GoFundMe has decided that they will pull all fundraisers for this guy accused of murdering this Ukrainian refugee.
Well, they should, no doubt about that. All right. Did you see the Karen at the Phillies game over the weekend?
I don't know how big a baseball fan you are.
Not much.
Jack.
Not much.
I'm huge. I'm a huge baseball fan. I go to as many games as I can. Mm-hmm. When a ball comes up in the stands, if you can catch it, catch it.
Right.
If it bounces off your hands and somebody else picks it up,
theirs.
It's their ball.
Now, do you take your glove? Are you one of those baseball nerds? You're out there with your mitt?
I've never done that.
Hit it to me. Hit it to Alpha and left. You don't do that?
Never done that.
Yeah, I used to go. I was a baseball fan until they struck years ago, and then it just soured. So I used to go. I never had a ball hit anywhere near me. So I never had that deal. But this, let's play the video of what happens. It was a home run ball, and for some reason she thought it was hers.
And Bader just unloads on this one, deep left field, and that one is gone as Bader goes back to back with Brandon.
By the way, thanks to New York Post Sports for this video.
What a long home run to left for Harrison.
There she
Bader.
is.
It's his 15th of the year.
Oh,
and his third since joining the Phillies. It's 5-1.
Hey, give me that ball.
How dare you take it away from me?
That's my ball.
It had my name on it. You give me that ball. I don't care if it is this boy's birthday.
So she clearly didn't catch it. It was a loose ball. A loose ball. Every man for himself down there.
But I blame the dad. The dad should never have given up that baseball.
Well, you're probably right. He explained it. I don't know if you heard his explanation.
I did.
His name is Drew Feltwell. He said in a TV interview that he was trying to set an example of how to de-escalate a situation in front of his son. He's probably right. You and I, we probably slapped that woman. Get out of here.
I definitely wouldn't have taken the ball out of my son's glove and given it back to her.
Yeah.
And the crowd agreed with that because she went back to her seat with the ball.
And they were
booing.
Yeah.
She stood up and flipped everybody off.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's like
it's different than the guy. What was it? The tennis match last week or a couple of weeks ago, where the CEO was there and some player was giving out hats.
Snatched a hat.
He snatched the hat.
Yeah.
He got fired from his CEO job. I mean, that's pretty serious. But I guess the backlash was that strong. And then
and there's conflicting stories on this woman. They claim they have identified her, but then they identified a woman by a similar name. They say it wasn't her, but it was this other woman. And one of the stories is she works at a school system in New Jersey. And I don't know if it was a parody account or whatever, but somebody posted that this person does not work for this school system. She's not employed by us. A real teacher in New Jersey would have caught it in her bare hand.
and listen, on the talk, I'm big on the talk. I'm very progressive.
You are.
On the talk, ever since it happened, that's all you see. There's like, these people, I don't know. I mean, I do a lot. I post a lot on there, and I'm on there watching other people's content. But I bet I saw 10 videos this weekend where a woman dressed up like the Phillies Karen and somebody else dressed up like the father, and they'd have an actual little boy, and they recreate it, only they changed the outcome. Some of them, they slap her, and people are just very creative on the talk. That's why I like it so much.
Yeah, but I could tell what the dad was going to do immediately when she walked up. Did you see him as soon as he's hugging the boy? She walked up, and he immediately went,
Yeah. He's a little soft.
Yeah, so you knew what he was going to do.
He's a beta. He's a beta dad.
And I'm afraid what the message is to the daughter who is sitting there is, look, I may not protect you in an important situation.
Yeah.
And if you want to act like a Karen, well, you get rewarded for it. So that's what I'm afraid of, that the message was from that to his children.
I see what you're saying.
So don't get mad that I speak the truth and I speak facts, but I literally have never said anything to invoke violence, and I challenge somebody to go and find a clip of a Democrat invoking violence. And I love Colin, and I think towards the end he started to punch a little harder. But, it's Ted Cruz. I mean, this dude has to be knocked over the head, hard, right?
There's a lot of freaky people in the world, Alpha. Strange people who do strange things. Just strange things. Now, this happened again here in Charlotte. You know where Cabarrus County is. You've heard of Cabarrus County.
Yep.
This happened in Cabarrus County, and it's just crazy. Listen to this.
So apparently there's someone in the Kannapolis Concord area who is literally going around and peeing in people's mailboxes.
Okay.
His TikTok name is literally Cabarrus County Mailbox Pisser. So maybe watch his videos to see if your mailbox is on there, or just, watch your house. I don't know. Is that illegal?
Yeah, it's illegal.
Yeah.
Upon, but illegal?
Yeah, it's illegal.
I don't know.
I mean, what's the thrill in that? I mean, and another question, is he really tall, or does he bring a stool with him? Because I'm not sure I could reach the mailbox.
If you got a short bat, you got to stand close to the plate.
Or if it's one of those in the door with the little flap that opens up and you just go through the chute, you got to be careful that there's not a dog on the other side. You could. Yeah, you could really get in trouble with that thing, if you know what I mean.
You could be. What is it about North Carolina becoming the home of the lunacy?
You know what?
It's crazy.
We're slowly turning into Florida. People are leaving Florida. I used to do a thing called news from Florida, because there's always
Florida
something,
man, yeah.
there's always something crazy going on. And literally, we have thousands of people leaving Florida, moving to North Carolina. And I think a lot of them are the
Really?
crazy people. Well, yeah, what happened in Florida at the start of COVID, you could buy a nice home in like Coral Springs, Florida.
Clearwater.
Coral Springs, Clearwater. You could buy a nice home for $250,000 to $300,000, and there's no state income taxes. Utility rates are pretty low, and after COVID, post-COVID, post-Hurricane Irma, or Ian, whichever one it was, insurance rates went from a couple of $200 or $300 a month to over $1,000 on just a regular home. So suddenly you've got a $12,000 to $15,000 a year insurance bill. Then during COVID, the prices went through the roof of the homes themselves. I mean, in some cases, doubled. In some places, tripled if you were waterfront or whatever. So your home went up in value, and the property taxes went up way more than that. So suddenly you've got a giant property tax bill. You've got a giant insurance bill. Your auto insurance went up dramatically. And so all this stuff happened at once, and and if you were in a condo, forget about it. Because at the same time, they passed this law after the condo collapse down in Miami that killed all those people. So they have a law there. I think the stat is that 90% of all the high-rise condominiums in Florida are over 30 years old. And what happens is the salt water gets in there, it rusts the rebar, the concrete cracks, which is what happened in Miami. So now you have to have this really expensive engineering study done on your building. And, of course, who pays for that? The HOA has to pay for it, and it's millions. So there's a lot of these condo complexes in Florida that are literally just being abandoned because you can't sell them. Nobody wants to buy them because the HOA fees and insurance have gone up. I mean, there's people paying $1,500, $2,000 a month HOA fee.
So these people are going, okay, where can I go that'll be cheaper and I can still be a loon?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
North and South Carolina both fit the bill. Probably North Carolina a little bit more because we're a little more liberal up here. There's more left-wing liberals here. So they're coming here in droves and apparently peeing in our mailboxes when they get here.
Well, a few years ago, if you remember, I think it was in Connecticut, there was somebody who was taking a dump on people's lawns.
Mm-hmm.
The serial pooper.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. I had somebody poop in my office one time. So,
all righty then.
I never told you that story?
No.
I've already told the story on the podcast, so I'll tell you privately. But yeah, I had somebody poop in my office one time.
Can't wait to hear.
All right, so we've been talking a lot about the UK the last week or so on the podcast about how we thought that the UK was like America, that they had free speech and elections and you had rights, and boy, were we wrong. Apparently, they don't have free speech. You don't have any damn rights, and they'll just throw you in jail if you say or do anything they don't like.
You can't wave the Union Jack. You can't wave the Cross of St. George.
Mm-mm.
And now...
You can't send a mean tweet that might hurt somebody's feelings.
Exactly. Well, you can't even say anything to anyone that might cause them pain or discomfort, like this British man who is arrested by the constables for the serious crime of calling someone a Muppet.
Well, I can see why they would do that. Jump on that. Which Muppet? Which Muppet? Was it one of the really creepy ones? Just a Muppet.
It wasn't even a specific Muppet. It was just your run-of-the-mill Muppet.
Did you see
it caused this person so much pain that they had to call the police and have this man arrested. Arrested.
Did you see the? I don't know what she was protesting or what she'd done. I caught the end of it, but this woman was like 92 years old, a retiree in a wheelchair that was protest. They were arresting her. They're like 6 cops picking up the wheelchair, and they were taking her in, Granny.
Same with a RAF war veteran. who was just waving the flag, and they picked him up and took him off the street. It's incredible. It's unbelievable.
Might make somebody feel bad. And
And
then
Tommy Robinson, whom you've mentioned before, who's a British activist, has been warning us for years that it's coming here to the United States, and
there's no doubt that it's already here.
Be looking for it.
Before we get to what we just saw here, Starmer, the PM of England, he's got a new Home Secretary, and
Right.
Alpha sent me the story. I'd seen it over the weekend. Tell him what happened on her first day in office.
Well, the story came out once he named her, and the media was going, "Oh, she's a very right wing. She will crack down on immigration."
Mm-hmm.
And on her very first day, she had 1,000 immigrants literally chaperoned right into the country
Really?
on the very first day. Unvetted immigrants from third world countries.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's right wing and a serious crackdown on immigration, then the United Kingdom is going to fall much faster than we ever imagined.
Well, here's the bottom line. She stated she bases all her decisions on immigration on her Muslim faith.
Wow.
And listen, you can go online and see imams all over the UK preaching from the pulpit that it will be a Muslim country. It's just a matter of time.
Yep.
That's what they preach. And so they're just letting it happen, and they're so liberal. I saw this video of a judge the other day, and I couldn't get the video for the podcast. It wouldn't. I put it through some conversion software, but it wouldn't go. First of all, this judge, he's got on this red and white outfit that looks like it's from the 1700s, and the wig and all that, and he's like this. Well, for this terrible crime of calling this guy a name, we're sending you to prison for 18 months. I went, are you kidding me? He just, reeked of liberal European scum is what I call it.
But it's so weird because, I mean, there's a bishop, and forget which church it was in England, but she said we need to invite Muslims into the church and give them prayer areas and take down the crosses. You're going to take down the cross in a church? It's a Christian church. That's the very foundation of what you're supposed to exist for.
Yeah. Well,
and you're taking down your cross.
That's another problem, I think, in the UK and all over Europe in general, is that a lot of Europe and the UK, they've lost their belief in God, their faith in God. They don't practice their religion anymore, and that's why it's so easy to bowl them over.
And it's happening here too.
Black people, racism.
Racism. People don't like to talk about racism.
They say all the time in the UK that you're going to be Muslim. It's going to be a Muslim country, etc. But we have pockets of the country here where they're doing the same thing. Michigan, we talk about all the time. Of all places, Maine has this gigantic Muslim population where they talk about it. But Houston, Texas? Alpha sent me this story today, and I happened to catch the video last night on one of the crazy news channels I watch. But tell him what happened in Houston.
Yeah, he is going around to local businesses around Houston
and Iman
and demanding
with that, what do you call it, megaphone?
Yeah, bullhorn, demanding that any of these stores, these businesses that sell alcohol, pork, lottery tickets, or anything that is haram, in other words, anything that is against the Muslim faith, that they will be boycotted, protested, and possibly have violence.
Sounds like a threat. Sounds like a threat.
It is. And these were the things that we mentioned Tommy Robinson earlier, and he in England, that's what he was saying. They create these pockets that are no-go zones for local authorities, where they are the authority that actually usurps our Constitution.
Well, in England and France, they've given them a right, basically, in those areas to practice Sharia law.
Right.
I mean, it's just what they've done.
City in Michigan, they have Islamic patches
For the
on the
poli-
police officers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
You know, and look, you can be any religion you like. That's fine, but practice your religion and don't try to force it on anybody else. Now that goes for any religion. Don't force it
Exactly.
on me.
Exactly.
You practice your way. Let me practice mine. We'll get along just fine.
Don't
But when you
tread
insist
on
that
me.
yeah,
Don't
when you insist
tread
that I
on
can
me.
change, yeah, when you insist that I change to suit you, then
Mhm.
that's where we run into problems.
That's right. All right. Let me see what we got here. What do we got here? Well, it seems like all the news is so serious today. I apologize. It's just the way that it happens. I'd rather be talking about fun stuff. I mean, I'd love to have 10 I peed in your mailbox stories, but it's just not the way the cards are falling today.
There's just not enough mailbox peers.
No, we need more people from Florida to move to other states so these stories get spread out a little bit. I mean, when they come from
Putting
Florida,
up a sign-up list.
yeah, when they come from Florida, they don't surprise you anymore. They don't, they're not as good. But if you say they're from Tennessee or North Carolina, Georgia, I'm all over it. So
Yeah.
two men who murdered a teen in a satanic ritual 30 years ago. They let him out on parole. Royce Casey and Jacob Delashmut, both 47, were released over the summer, while a third accomplice has yet to be released, according to the Tribune in San Luis Obispo, California. They were all teenagers back in 95 when they murdered 15-year-old Elise Failer in what they described as a satanic ritual. The boys were in a heavy metal band.
And they thought, well, if we sacrifice a virgin, then that will make us heavy metal stars, and we can go tear up hotels and throw TVs out the window. And so, I mean, even though they were teens, I mean, I don't know that you excuse that.
No, I don't either. They wanted to be. I wonder if any of these other heavy metal bands have people like that in them that have done stuff like that we just don't know about. Like have you ever seen like the Juggalos? Are you familiar with the Juggalos?
I've only seen little clips of them.
Well, there's a whole Juggalo festival. You go on the that's a rabbit hole. You should go down sometimes on the YouTube. It's a whole festival where they combine cosplay, dressing up, heavy metal, violence, rampant sex. It's like an even dirtier Burning Man, if that's possible. But and there's bands that play there a lot. Maybe there's even a Juggalos band, and then you've got bands like Slipknot. Remember them?
Mm-hmm.
Another heavy metal band that creepy.
And
looking.
it's a cultish like thing. It takes dead heads and fish heads to a whole nother level.
Yeah, it's
performance and weirdness.
The people that go, they're all gothy, and it's just a strange group of people.
Yeah, it's never been in my wheelhouse.
No. I never liked, I had friends, I didn't like really hard rock. I mean, I enjoyed rock music like Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Bad Company, that kind of, but I never liked like Pantera. Like one or two songs of Def Leppard, Van Halen, a couple of their songs, but a lot of it was just noise to me. I'm sure a lot of people love it, each to his own, but I never cared for it.
Yeah, I liked then and I like now music that's fun to listen to, as I used to say on American Bandstand, it's got a good beat and I can dance to it.
Exactly. Give me some Jimmy Buffett, some some Eagles, some America, some Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, now you're talking.
I'm happy. But
yeah, there you go.
Slipknot,
Doobie Brothers,
Juggalos. I'm not going
my
there.
Cup of tea, man.
Not going there. Well, anyway, thank you for joining us here on the Jack Murphy Podcast. We appreciate it. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe, like the video, and we'll be here tomorrow with more If We Peed in Your Mailbox stories.
Can't wait.
Thanks for watching the Jack Murphy Podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Go ahead, ring it. Get alerts when a new episode drops, and tell your friends about the Jack Murphy Podcast. But only the cool friends, please. Tune in next time for another episode of the Jack Murphy Podcast.